Known fashion entrepreneur Tshepo Mohlala of the famous Tshepo Jeans brand continues to make strides in the local fashion industry. With successful flagship stores across the country, his designs have become a symbol of the growing trend for African brands to be seen as luxury products on the global stage. Lately, Mohlala has launched the We the People campaign, which celebrates South Africa's cultural heritage through luxury. He joins us now to tell us more about the brand, the growth in local denim fashion, and what the campaign signifies. Tshepo, thanks so much for coming onto the show. Good to see you.
Hugo, thank you so much for having me this morning.
So I think what I want to know is why We the People. We've just had a conversation on an art exhibition called We the Purple. So clearly there's something in the air.
You know, We the People was actually inspired by the South African preamble, which starts with the 3 words. We the people of South Africa recognize the injustices of our past. And I was actually at the talk with a friend of mine, John T, at the Constitution Hill, and LB Sachs and Robbie Brozen and Luando Klaso, who's a constitutional lawyer, were speaking about this, and they were reading this preamble. And at the time, actually, this was 2019, at the time, like, the country was having a whole lot of issues. You know, the xenophobic attacks. There were people saying, I'm leaving, or hashtag I'm staying. And we felt a need that, like, you know, there's something beautiful about us as South Africans, the fact that, like, when we unite and we want to work at something or want to achieve something, when we come together, we can achieve anything, you know. And that was the beginning of our inspiration. But the whole thing was inspired by our constitution, you know. We, as a nation, I feel like the new heritage of South Africa began in 1994, you know, and that's where the inspiration comes from.
So I think the one thing that intrigues me is that this is not just about a brand that's successful, but it's also about a social movement.
Absolutely.
That you're creating. So it's not just this individual who's out there, you know, enjoying the profits, but also in a way giving back and driving people to think in a particular way or to realize certain things. So let's talk about the overall vision of Tshepo as a lifestyle brand.
I think my vision as a brand is, you know, is always like I've always wanted to be a storyteller. You know, when I was a kid, like I remember seeing my grandmother jumping on stage, speaking to thousands and thousands of people, and she captivated an audience just using storytelling. And so for me, I've always wanted to be part of that. Actually, when I was a kid, when I matriculated, I wanted to be the guy behind the camera. I went to study filmmaking, and after, realized that I'm in the wrong space. I actually love clothing more than I do filmmaking. However, you know, like over the past couple of years, I realized how fashion, movies, music, clothing, film, and media all intertwined. We're all telling stories. And that's the vision of Tshepo Jeans. You know, there's no other platform for me that's as amazing as jeans. Whether you're black, you're white, you're Indian, you're colored, anybody around the world wears jeans. You know, there's 7 billion people around the world. And once in your lifetime, there will be a time where you'll get a pair of jeans. I mean, like, you live in suits, and probably when you're when you're in your comfort zone, you probably put on a pair of jeans.
Want to put on a pair of your jeans?
Of course.
You know, I'm looking at the footage that's being shared on the screen as we were talking. And I'm almost reminded of a Black Lives Matter sort of movement, right? We the people. Yes. What are we saying to the people, or what are we the people doing?
I mean, like, I think from a Tshepo perspective, you know, the other day I was just reminiscing of how I grew up. I remember my mom, when I was a kid, she'd wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning to catch a taxi to go to Brakpan's train rank. Take a train to Pretoria, gets back at 10 p.m. at night. And I think, like, for me, as a kid, I never get to spend a lot of time with my mom, so I spend a lot of time with my grandparents. And when I decided to become an entrepreneur, I think the biggest thing for me was I don't want to repeat that cycle. So for me, the first thing from a sustainability perspective, and I'm in the fashion space, I'm in the denim space, you know, which is, like, considered the most polluting industry in the world. And my sustainability look of things was, I want to impact people in a different manner. I want people who work for us to walk to work. So at Victoria Yards, where our atelier is, the ladies and the guys who work for us, they walk to work, you know. So at 5 o'clock, their kids can run around. At 2 o'clock, come and say hello, spend some time with their parents. They can spend enough time with their parents. So for me, I've always wanted to change people and impact people in that manner, in a small scale. And that's what we're saying as we the people, is that no matter industry, whatever industry you're in, wherever you are, be the best version of yourself.
You know, we had a story that we covered a few days ago about people in the hospitality sector, right, where young South Africans were complaining about the level of abuse, how they're not paid, underpaid.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the list is endless.
That,
and I marvel at how you, Tshepo, have this vision and are so considerate. And I suppose it speaks to your story, right? And one of the things that you've done is that this campaign, We the People, Tina Bantu, is in all 12 official languages of South Africa. So I'd imagine that there are numerous stories that people are going to be able to tell, that we're going to hear.
Absolutely. You know, like quite interesting, the other day I was speaking to a friend of mine. He was wearing a We the People t-shirt in Setsonga, and I'm wearing mine in Sepedi, you know, and I was like, what does it mean to you? He's like, Tseps, I'm a guy from Guyana, and I came from nothing. And now I live in Bryanston. My kids go to a great school. I can take 3 or 4 trips with my family a year outside South Africa. And for me, when I wear Tshepo, it means that I've arrived. It's luxury, but I'm still connected to my roots. You know, I'm a Shangaan man. I'm still proud of being Shangaan. However, I'm not obviously Shangaan. I'm not going to wear my traditional clothes every day. But like, you know, when I wear Tshepo, when I say Yinavanu, I am still part of the people. I'm not disconnected. I am still connected to my roots. However, I'm living a certain lifestyle. So for me, I think that's what the campaign right now means. We've translated it in 12 official languages, and the stories that are coming out of there, you know, there's a lady who walked into our studio the other day, and she sees the We the People translated in sign language, and she starts crying.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful,
And
man.
as she cries, I'm like, so we share a moment, I give it to him a moment. Then I ask him, like, well, what did it mean to you? She said, Tseps, all my life, for the past 15 years of my life, I've been a public speaker. And 5 years ago, actually 2 years ago, I realized that I speak to so many audiences, but there's groups of people that I'm leaving out. And people like sign language, we forget about them. You know, so everywhere she goes, when she speaks, when she addresses an audience, she has a person who's interpreting using sign language for inclusion. And that's what this campaign is all about. It's about inclusion. It's about bringing people together. I think it's such a great time for us to launch this campaign. The timing was amazing, that we just nominated a new government, and it's government of national unity, and our whole slogan is united in our diversity. And that's what makes South Africa so beautiful. You know, we all are different. However, when we look around, the spirit of Ubuntu carries us all.
Are you proud of what you've achieved?
I'm absolutely. I'm amazed of what we've achieved as a brand. You know, the other day I got an email from the Secretary of the United Nations, and she says, I met a person at a flight in Portugal, and she was wearing a We the People t-shirt, and I said to them, that's our slogan, and we need to work together. I'm proud of what we've achieved. I'm proud of the impact that what We the People has done. I'm proud of the people who wear it. You know, when you wear a Tshepo t-shirt or you wear a We the People t-shirt, it's not about the t-shirt itself, but it's about the thinking. You know, you're a person who's like proud of what you do. You want to see a change, and you're a person who makes the change happen.
We're on the eve of Heritage Day.
Yes, sir.
What do you have to say to the people?
Wow, what a big question, Hugo. I think for me, it's like, you know, like I realized, like, for a very long time, I've lost my heritage. I've lost where I come from, you know, like Kimopedi, but like my bedi is like, it's everywhere, you know, because I grew up in a township. I think for me, it's like, it's reminding South Africans to be proud of who they are, to remind ourselves of where we come from, to not forget where we come from, forget where we are, and also think about the future in mind. And that's our whole message, you know. It's like always remember where we come from, be proud of where we are and where we're going.
Well, we the people, we the channel, thank you for making time.
Thank you so much.
Tshepo Mohlala of famous Tshepo Jeans brand.